and do a short video talking about how I'm modding Atari 2600s these days. I've done many of these, video modded them, just composite mods, composite S video mods, pause mod, power LED. I've done, I guess those are the main ones. I've done some other things here and there, but certainly far and away most often just the video mod, or the composite S video mod using the Atari mod. Generally, the schematics readily available online. There's at least one person that sells boards. They're often listed on eBay and such, and on that person's website. I used to use that. One of those boards right here, and I don't know how many of these I've installed. A lot of them, but after you do so many of something, I don't know, you look for, I guess, ways to improve it. I was tired of running wires. I mean, it complicates the installation to have wires coming from the Atari motherboard to the mod board, and then from the mod board to the jacks. I'd rather just have the mod board on one end or the other, which is common to see that, and in this case incorporate it directly into the motherboard, so you don't have some distance that you have to travel via wire in that case. Here I have just a regular old 4-switch motherboard. This is one of the later revisions. This is the last revision, I think, that there is of this board. Revision 17, so unfortunately none of the chips are socketed. The vast majority of the revisions of this board, it's nice that those chips are already socketed. But regardless of whether it was socketed or not, the way that I've been doing this is to desolder either the chip in this case or the socket in other cases, and replace it with a 40-pin machine socket. And then I had this board here printed up, which it acts as a means of hooking up a slightly reconfigured mod board similar to this, based on the same schematic. What happens is that I'll end up with machine pins that'll plug into there. The TIA will be socketed in just a standard dual wipe socket, and there's a 10-pin header, which will make the necessary connections to the video mod board. Also on this mod board, or on this board here, the components for the pause mod are built right in. So if one wants a pause, you don't have to have a separate mod board, and we got multiple boards, and got to figure out different places to mount those and how to go about that. It's kind of a cleaner solution. Makes the mounting of the board easy, since it's completely just plugs right into the board, and that's taken care of. Just need to run the necessary wires to the jacks for the video and audio outputs, and a couple wires over to a switch to control the pause function. Also, I have two holes here for wires to go to a power LED, and also a spot for a series limiting resistor for that power LED if one was to want that. I also added a jumper on this board, so I could make a connection that is otherwise severed that would remove the need for the pause mod. You can just leave those components off and just have no pause mod, and still use this as a means for connecting video mod and power LED, I guess, if one wanted. Here's the same board right here. all assembled, socket in place with the TIA already plugged in. Got those headers down there with this 10-pin header here along the back, and the necessary components in place for the pause mod. So I can go ahead and just plug this guy right into the board here, and that's how it looks there. It hangs a little past the board, but that's not an issue at all. There's plenty of room. Like I said, the 10-pin header sticking up. I got my version of that video mod board has a 10-pin header here as well to the female end to receive those pins. I'll go ahead and plug that right in, and now the video mod board, the pause mod, everything, all the connections are made to the motherboard that need to be. No pins have to be bent on the TIA, which I prefer by far. That way of doing it all seemed kind of sloppy to me, and in the future, if anything needed to be changed, or if that IC needed to be swapped out, made that much more difficult doing it this way. It's a simple process of just unplugging this and removing the TIA from the socket and plugging another right back in. I played around with different things. It's still not probably the most elegant solution, having a stack of boards like this, but definitely an improvement over the other way of doing it. I've been much happier working on consoles since I made the switch to doing it this way. For the time being, I'm just soldering the wires in, running them over the jacks. I'll probably end up using some sort of connector or something, and maybe a header there as well, so you can just unplug that, and everything's free then from the case, from the shell. You just have the jacks with a length of wire and a header dangling off that. I guess that's what I'd like to do. I have I don't know, a lot of Ataris, 2600s, and at this point I've been cutting my my jacks out with a small CNC machine that I've been tinkering with. I can run 10 or 20 shells in a matter of, I don't know, what ends up being minutes, rather than tinkering around with templates and marking things and drilling pilot holes and changing out bits for between the RCA jacks and the S-Video jacks. It just makes the process much more efficient. Let's see what else I have to say here. I guess not much else. I'm not going to go through hooking this up. I mean, it's not hard to imagine from this point. Like I said, I guess I could say that I do tend to, I put a little adhesive square in between this video mod board and the TIA, it kind of holds it, and it's perfectly, parallel to the TIA then, more or less. Make these connections here and just kind of run the wires right down and to the back of the console here to the jacks, and that works fairly well. My way of mounting the pause button, it's on the side here. There's the lip where the overhang where the console is. I'll run the two wires over to that, and whatever different methods of putting in a power LED and using that in conjunction with that. But all those three mods are right here. You don't have to solder anything to the console other than a socket. So I don't know, it works out well. I'm still gonna tinker with it, and maybe rather than have two boards plug in, maybe put it all on one board. Maybe incorporate some surface mount components instead of all through-hole components. I think at this point, using all through-hole components and putting everything on one board, it would end up becoming kind of a, you know, a fairly sizable board, and certainly finding some configuration that would work between the 4-switch and 6-switch and, you know, possibly the junior as well would be ideal, but I don't know if that's in the cards or not. For the time being, as long as this continues to be, you know, as far as I know, the best video mod for the Atari 2600, I guess I'll keep playing with it. Maybe somebody will develop something, an improvement as far as a better mod soon. Although the S video is pretty darn good, and I can't imagine getting too much better than that. So, anyways, that's all I got. Thanks for watching.